When I started my journey as an animator, when I was studying in the institute, I made a lot of mistakes. So I did not have the exact guidance like where to start, how to do it. So animation is very easy to understand. So if somebody explains you that this is the way, because it's very easy, right? You just have to move some controls and you can see the things moving, but it's very difficult to master. So it's easy to understand but difficult to master. So that's why a lot of students who start learning animation and they pay lakhs of rupees and invest in their self, but still they don't know how to actually do the animation in a professional way. So there is always a step by step process, right? You cannot do certain things all the way, like directly you cannot cross the stairs. You have to take a step, then the next step, then the next step. So that's how it is. When you see the whole picture, you feel overwhelmed that how do I do that? How do I achieve that? And when you have the proper step by step guidance, that's when you do the things very easily. So in this video, I'm going to share you something about the follow option. So when you import any character in Autodesk Maya or in any software, so the rig which you have while doing the animation, so there are certain parts of the body like head, hand, legs. So these are the parts you can play with the follow option so that you work more efficiently and you produce more quality and you can do it in less time. So you should know how this follow option works and in what kind of a shot you have to use this follow in which way. So let's dive into the video and understand what am I actually trying to say. So this is the character imported like referenced in Maya. And as you can see, now I have turned on the controls, so you can see the controls of the character, right? And as I was talking in the introduction about the follow option, you might be aware about this option, but you might not be aware how to use it to be more productive. Like that's the thing which nobody tells you. You have to understand, you have to keep practicing, then you understand that thing. But I'm going to share this in this video so that you can use this in your animation and be more efficient. So as you can see this control of the head, now you see here in the channel box, there is something called orient space. And you see here, it's COG. It's written, right? Center of gravity. So when you talk about COG in the character, it's basically this control. Sometimes it will be named as pelvis or sometimes it will be COG, right? So it's the root of the whole body. So all the joints which you see right from up and the downside, it will come and get attached at this joint. So this is the center of the body of the rig. And if I click on the head control, here you see orient space. Now don't get stuck with the name, right? So this might have some other name. This might have, generally it will have the name as follow. And in this rig, it is showing as orient space. And these are the options here: master, COG, chest, and parent, right? So these are the four options. Sometimes it might be three or two, or it might be five, right? Depending on the rig, what quality of rig is it? So if I select this and if I go to COG, COG means whenever it will go, it will follow this center of gravity. So whenever I'll move this control and the upper hierarchy of these controls, right? This one, chest control. So the head will move with it, right? The head will move with all the controls which are in hierarchy with the root control. So when I keep it that way, and when you go to chest, right? When you go to chest, it will only move with the chest, right? It will move with the chest. Now you see how it's moving. It's actually not correct, but sometimes you might need this. Can you just see the difference earlier and now? So when you see yourself, let me turn on the camera and show you. See, so now it's chest. And if I rotate the chest, you see how the head is moving. It's moving like this. So when the upper body is moving and the head is moving with it, but actually we don't move our head this way, right? When you go to the earlier option, which is COG, when you keep it COG, now you see the difference. See, your head will be at the same place, only your chest will rotate. And this is the way we actually rotate, we actually behave, right? This way you can bring your neck out, you can bring your head this way, right? It will not get down. Earlier it was getting down. When you were rotating the chest, it was going down with the chest, and it should not happen that way. Make sure it does not work that way. Okay, anytime you do the animation, make sure that this is how your head should move. It will be in the same direction always. And if I talk about, let's get and check some other option. Now you might have the master option, right? So master is also working the same way, and we'll have the parent. Parent, again, it's not correct, because you see, again, it's moving completely with the chest. This is how it should not be. So we'll go here and we'll make it COG. And now if you see this eye dart, right? If you see this eye dart, this also has a space. Now here it is written as space, right? I told you the name might not be the same. So we saw orient space, we saw space, and we saw follow. So these were the three names we got to see in this rig. And now here it is head, and it will always be head, because when you see your eyes, eye darts will always follow your head, right? You cannot go this way and your eyes down. That we do it manually. By default, when you move your head up, your eye darts go up, right? So that is the reason when you use this, it will always go with the head. And now you can see when you turn your head up, this eye dot also goes up. And when you set as master, master means when you turn your head up, this thing will remain here itself, right? So this way, this is not correct, right? You cannot look this down. So whatever you do, the eye dot will be at the same place. This will never happen as a human. So make sure it's always going with the head. And now we'll talk about the hand. Hand also has the same thing. You see, now here it is follow. And it's master, head, COG, hips, and parent. So when you keep it head, that means whenever you rotate your head, your hand will go with the head. You see this, right? Now I'm rotating the head, so the hand is going. So this option you might have to use very, very few times. Like maybe, I don't even know, like you will have to check the shot. If there is any shot where there is influence of the head, like the hand is having the influence of the head, then only you should use this option. Then we go to COG. COG means whenever you move your root control, so at that time your hand will go with the root. And majorly this should be COG. Hands will should be in COG or pelvis. Like sometimes it will be written as pelvis or sometimes as COG. So it will always go with the COG until and unless you don't have anything which we say, what we call. So these hands will always be in COG until and unless you don't have something to lift or some attachment. If you have to keep your hand, if there is a contact of your hand with some object or some person, then only you don't have to use this, and you have to make it as master, right? Master means it's individual. So it will not go with any of the control. It will be individual. Whatever you move, this control will not move. You see, now because of the rig, the control is at the same place. The hand is going, but this is because of the rig. Actually, the control is at the same place. You see, so this you have to use as master whenever there is a contact with some object or some character, right? And if there is no context, suppose if you are creating a walk cycle, that means while walking, you just move your hands. You don't actually put your hands on some surface or you touch somewhere. So if you do it in master, it will be very difficult for you to animate every time, right? Every time it will be very difficult for you to move the hand, because when you move the pelvis, your hand will be at the same place. And that's how you will have to look whether there is a jerk in the movement or not. To make sure this is always going with COG. It should always go with COG whenever you do animation. If there is no contact, if there is no contact with any person or an object or the ground, right? So if I talk about legs, you see, we always walk, run, whatever we do, our legs are on the ground. So that means the legs are always in contact with the ground. So legs will always be in IK, right? You move this way, and it will always be in master. It will not go with COG or anything, right? You see, this is wrong, right? So this you might have to use at certain point when you are doing some animation which is in the air, or where you need that you should not counter rotate things. Counter rotate means when this thing, now suppose it is in COG, that means when you move your COG, your legs are also moving. So again, to go back to the same position, you have to bring back the leg. That is counter rotation. That means you did not do anything to the leg, right? You see, all the attributes are zero. Still the leg is forward. So to bring back the leg at his original position, you have to counter rotate. You have to reverse rotate your leg. And this way you have some negative values. And this creates a lot of problem while you actually do the animation in the professional way. And it will consume a lot of your time as well. So you will not be efficient. So the whole point of showing this video was to use these options very efficiently, right? Always make sure you use it very efficiently. You have hips, you have parent. Hips means whenever you move the hip, your leg will move. That's how it is. These are the controls. You have to make sure you use it properly. And that's all about this video. I will come up with some other video to give you some other tips about animation tools, and you can use it to improve your animation and to improve your efficiency, right? If you have any doubts, mention in the comment box, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel for receiving all these updates. I will see you in the next video. Take care and God bless.